Hello everyone, Sylvan Bright here, and welcome to another movie review. After the success of The Little Mermaid, Disney went on to making Beauty and the Beast as their next project. But due to the film's long production, the studio had to release the film the following year, and needed another film for their 1990 release. And that's when today's film came in. Only 13 years after the first one, Disney brought up a sequel to a movie that didn't have much to offer, but it certainly paid off, and it is quite underrated. And this little film happens to be The Rescuers Down Under. Though the film says it's suggested by the characters created by Margaret Sharp, I'd say the film's more based on the characters, since there was never a book set in Australia. An Australian boy named Cody frees a golden eagle named Mohr from getting caught in ropes, and thus the giant bird shows Cody her nest of eggs, and he gets one of her feathers. But then Cody falls in a trap, and is pulled out by a poacher named Percival C. McLeach, who then kidnaps Cody after seeing one of Mohr's feathers, and uses him to find the bird. Then the Rescue Aid Society receives the message of the kidnapping, and sends Miss Bianca and Bernard to rescue the boy, along with the help of a kangaroo rat named Jake, of course. And did I say that this film paid off? Well, it certainly did, despite it being a box office flop. But it is growing a fan base, and I am proud to be a part of it. But then, why do I like this film more than the first one? First of all, Cody isn't an orphan, and got out of his house to rescue an animal, but then is kidnapped by McLeach, who uses the boy to find the eagle, and that goes on throughout the whole film, rather than finding any diamond and is shown for only one scene. But it is strange on how there is more of Bianca and Bernard in the first film than in the sequel. But that's not a big deal since the pair was already established. And even their eyes are better, because in the first film, it looks like their skin is merging with their eyes, making it look like they have dots for them. Once in a while it looks like pupils, but most of the time it's not. Well here, those dots stay as pupils. It's pretty much like with Mickey's eyes when done for Fantasia. Another improvement with the film is the climax. In the first film, Medusa's about to leave with the diamond, but then Bernard, Bianca, and the other animals help Penny escape by trapping the crocodiles, distracting Medusa, setting off fireworks in the boat, racing off in a motor boat of some sort, and eventually has Medusa follow them, which has her crash into a steam pipe, and our heroes head out of Devil's Bayou. Yeah, that's okay, but let's see about the sequel. McLeach is about to feed Cody to the crocodiles, but Bernard saves the day by handing over the keys to Jake and Bianca, who are in a cage, which Jake unlocks. But Bernard is then chased by Joanna, which allows him to have Joanna attack McLeach, who falls into the water and over the falls. But then Cody falls into the water, and Bernard tries to save him until Mohr is free from the cage, and saves Cody and Bernard before hitting the end of the falls, and fly off into the sky. Man, that is more interesting, and is more of an edge-of-your-seat moment. And speaking of which, there are a lot of great and fun moments in this film. Cody and Mohr flying around in the beginning, Wilbur's takeoff and landing, Joanna stealing McLeach's eggs, Wilbur escaping the doctor, the kidnap message being sent to New York, Bianca and Bernard on the treads, McLeach singing a little song as he's preparing to feed Cody to the crocs. There's a lot to go over. And in fact, the characters in this are better than the first. Bernard and Bianca are still as good, now with Bernard trying to propose to her. Jake is pretty fun, taming wild animals to show them who's boss, while also hitting on Bianca, not knowing Bernard is trying to propose to her. Cody is an adventurous type of kid, always helping animals in need and possibly standing up to McLeach. Unlike Penny, who just complains about the situation and doesn't really do much. Wilbur is more fun and comedic than Orville, who's his brother, and it is quite clever that the two are named after the Wright brothers. And Wilbur gets more screen time than Orville, cause Orville just brings Bianca and Bernard to Devil's Bayou and then leaves, and is then shown at the end. Wilbur does part of that, but with his bad back, he's with a doctor who operates him with tools that makes the scene scary and intense, but it also makes them funny. McLeach is a better villain, and if you want more info about him from me, watch this top 10 list for it. But he is better than Medusa. He's a poacher, he outsmarts everyone and everything. He has a backup plan for anything, and he's very giddy at whatever he does. More so than Medusa, who just wants the Devil's Eye diamond even though she owns a pawn shop. I think you need to learn from the master. And all of these characters have great actors providing their voices. Bob Newhart voices Bernard, Eva Gabor voices Miss Bianca, John Candy voices Wilbur, Tristan Rogers voices Jake, Adam Ryan voices Cody, George C. Scott voices McLeach, Frank Welker voices Joanna, Bernard Fox voices Chairman and Doctor, Wayne Robson voices Frank, Douglas Seal voices Krebs, Peter Firth voices Red, and Russi Taylor voices Nurse Mouse. As a whole, this movie is a lot better than the first film. The characters are great, the story is fun, and the animation is pretty amazing. Directors Hendel Patoy and Mike Gabriel have made a really fun sequel that presents fun situations, grand-scale sequences, all shown with improvements from the first film, done to a very huge level. It's one that I watch more often than the first film, and by comparison, the sequel did much better in terms of story, character, and animation. And it certainly needs to be remembered as much, or even more, as its predecessor. So today, this movie will be given a rating of 4 stars. Thank you for joining me. Like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Facebook and Twitter, and tune in next Wednesday for a new video. Hello everyone. But then Cody falls into the water and Bernard tries to save him until Mohr is free from the cage. Oh god. But then Cody falls into the water and Bernard tries to save him until Mohr is free from the cage and saves Cody and Bernard before hitting the fence. Damn it all.